Hello everyone, Twitch.tv streamer CoachCrab127 here. I've been wanting to do a marathon stream for a while now, and on April 24th, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I finally have that opportunity. Now I've participated in Twitch events in the past. Last year I competed in the Big 20, and I've also been an active participant in the Elite Tournament since its inception. But for this marathon stream, I wanted something different. An even bigger challenge. I wanted a task that was unconventional, impressive, and would cause the least amount of frustration as possible. And then it hit me. The challenge I will compete throughout a single stream on April 24th, 2019, beat 50 NES games. Yes, that is the plan. If you follow my Twitch channel, you might have noticed that I've been quote-unquote speedrunning a lot of NES games lately. I've had this marathon idea for about a month now, and I've been taking that time to carefully study different NES games to maximize enjoyment for myself and the viewers, as well as minimize frustration. After taking notes for days, I've developed a list of 50 NES games that I believe will provide the viewers and myself with enjoyment. The purpose of this video is to reveal the list of 50. The goal is to beat each game in some form. Each goal is approved by speedrun.com and considered an official way to complete the game. I will give a mini review of each game and also explain the mission behind each one. Spoiler alert on some, if you're really picky about that kind of thing. So, without further ado, allow me to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the Koach 50. Number 1. Super Mario Brothers. It's the game that started it all for the NES. Everyone who owned a Nintendo had this game, normally paired with Duck Hunt. Mario must make his way through the Mushroom Kingdom to defeat King Bowser, who has kidnapped Princess Toadstool. This game is iconic, and a must in this marathon. The objective is to beat the game, warps and continues allowed. Number 2. Track and Field. Ah yes, one of the first button mashers of all time. Like many sports games on the NES, Track and Field requires rapidly pushing the A or B button to make your athlete, who is competing in a decathlon, run faster, jump farther, or gain more power. The objective for this game is to qualify in every event, or as speedrun.com calls it, one loop. Number 3. Popeye. Grab your spinach because Popeye is next. One of the original NES black box games, Popeye is an arcade-style game where you must save Olive Oyl from the terrorism inflicted by Popeye's arch-nemesis, Bluto, and his buzzard. The objective in this game is to complete one loop, or more simply, beat 3 levels. Only 3 levels to beat the game? Yes, NES games were pretty simple back then. Number 4. Adventures in the Magic Kingdom. You can't have an NES marathon without great Walt Disney games, and Adventures in the Magic Kingdom has a bit of everything. With space exploration, spooky haunted houses, and challenging Disney trivia, this game offers a first-class visit to the Magic Kingdom. Well, maybe an 8-bit class. Collect all 6 silver keys to unlock the door to the Magic Kingdom's castle, and beat the game. Number 5. Hammerin HARRY. Unreleased in North America, Hammerin HARRY is an action-packed side-scroller with the cutest violence you'll ever see. Poor Harry has had a string of bad luck lately. The highly corrupt corporation known as the Rusty Nailers destroy Harry's house and plan to develop their crooked business on sight. They even kidnap his girlfriend multiple times. What savages! Stick it to the man by taking out Rusty Nailers one by one with an oversized hammer. There's nothing like bashing people over the head to instill a bit of empathy. Defeat the Rusty Nailers CEO by beating him straight and restore peace to Harry's neighborhood. Number 6. Othello. Also known as Reversi, Othello is a strategy board game where the goal is to have your color dominate the board. The game becomes more complex with every turn as the competing players try to outwit each other. Reversi has been around since the 1800s and is a loose spin-off of the ancient Chinese board game Go. The Nintendo version of Othello does not disappoint. Gameplay is straightforward and true to the rules. The player can compete against 4 different computer levels, also a hidden 5th level, or versus another human. In this challenge, the player must defeat the computer in one game against level 1. Number 7. Excitebike. Grab your dirt bike and ride to glory in this fast-paced racer. Another black box game, Excitebike involves quick thinking and minding your surrounding environment. Master the physics and become the best biker in the world, or just be a jerk by knocking over other bikers or creating tracks like this. The goal is to stand on the podium for all 5 tracks. If the player fails to reach the podium, he can continue racing on the previously failed track. Number 8. Paperboy. We move from one biking game to the next, but these 2 games couldn't be more different. Go for a leisurely stroll through the neighborhood while dodging dogs, skateboarders, rogue tires, Mrs. Voorhees, tornadoes, possessed lawn statues, and the Grim Reaper himself. Seriously. Maybe this is not so leisurely after all. Survive the week and you'll be able to retire, never having to play this game again. Your left thumb will thank you. Number 9. Castlevania. Oh boy. Yup, now we're turning it up a notch. Castlevania is a classic Konami adventure. Ah, gotta love that noise. But by Dracula, it sure is hard. Between Medusa, the Mummy, Frankenstein, and the Grim Reaper, hey, he found his way out of the Paperboy's neighborhood. You'll be breaking controllers for sure when trying to master this. Defeat Count Dracula and conquer his mansion in order to advance to the next game. Number 10. Jaws. Probably the only scary thing not featured in Castlevania is a great big shark trying to eat you. We'll fix that problem right away with the next game. Jaws on the NES is simple enough, but it's kinda lame considering it's based on the 4th movie in the franchise, Jaws the Revenge, and not the original classic directed by Steven Spielberg. So in this game, we do not need a bigger boat. Kill Jaws to once again make it so that humans are statistically more likely to be struck by lightning than killed by a shark on Amity Island. Number 11. Panic Restaurant. Panic Restaurant is a later release on the NES with impressive graphics. The platforming game involves Chef Cookie trying to win back his cursed restaurant. Navigate your way through a 6-course meal while putting the evil food monsters back on the dinner plates where they belong. Finally, face your rival who placed the curse on your restaurant, the voodoo chef, O-Dove. O-Dove? O-Do... Oh, just call him Waluigi. Defeat him, whoever he is, to beat the game and get back your restaurant. Number 12. Sesame Street ABC. Sesame Street is one of the best children's shows of all time, with memorable characters like Bert and Ernie, Cookie Monster, Big Bird, and Oscar the Grouch. You'll be taking a trip down memory lane of your favorite kids' program. Well, actually, I prefer Reading Rainbow.
Take a look, it's in a book, a reading rainbow. A reading rainbow.
Sesame Street ABC offers 2 games, each with a variety of difficulty. Match letters and build words on the letter go round, then safely guide Ernie's rubber duck back to where he belongs in the bathtub. The goal is to complete all levels of each game. Number 13. Super Mario Bros. 2. My favorite Mario game on the NES, Super Mario Bros. 2 brought a fresh new style of gaming after the first Mario. Yes, we all know it's really Donkey Panic, but I didn't know that when I opened it on Christmas morning 28 years ago, so who cares? I've always liked the ability to select your character in this game, with each personality having different strengths and weaknesses. This was pretty innovative for its time. Do you want the strong, quick Toad? Or the floating princess? Or the idiot kicking his legs? We love you, Luigi. The goal for this game is to defeat the evil wart and free the imprisoned sub-cons, only to learn that it was all a dream. Wow, Nintendo, that's real classy there, giving a big fat middle finger to 8-year-olds. Number 14. Jordan vs. Bird, 1-on-1. For the first time on Nintendo, you could play as your favorite basketball player. Unless your favorite basketball player was Magic Johnson, because he's not in this game. And his game sucks, so don't play it. Sorry, Magic. In Jordan vs. Bird, you can compete against the computer or friends in various round ball competitions. Michael Jordan shows off his athleticism in the dunk contest, while Larry puts on a shooting clinic in the three-point contest. Both players were multiple-time champions of these respective events, so it's appropriate that they are the ones featured. But when they aren't competing against themselves, they are competing against each other in a good old-fashioned friendly game of one-on-one. The only problem is they seem to be playing in a local YMCA, being watched only by clones of RBI baseball players. Too bad they can't play horse.
Off the floor, off the scoreboard, off the bankboard, no rim.
Over the second rafter, off the floor, nothing but net.
The goal is to win a one-on-one game to 11 against the hardest computer level. The player can choose either Jordan or Bird. Number 15. Donkey Kong. In this arcade classic, Mario, then known as Jumpman, must rescue his better half at the time, Pauline. This is before our Nintendo hero had his midlife crisis, changing girlfriends, his appearance, and his name. You know we're going way back because this is also before Donkey Kong had a tie. This way, you'll know he's the bad guy. Beat 3 levels to defeat the evil Kong and restore true love. Well, for a few years. Number 16. Donkey Kong Jr. Yay, Mario caught that violent ape. Now everyone is safe. Wait a minute. The player is Donkey Kong Jr.? Mario's the bad guy now? Donkey Kong Jr. is trying to save his poor dad who's been taken captive? Hold your horses. I thought we established already that Donkey Kong was the ransom seeker, not Mario. What is this tomfoolery, Nintendo? Ugh. This is more difficult to keep up with than a WCW heel face double turn. By the way, Vince Russo, you suck. So yes, you're Donkey Kong Jr. now. Defeat 4 levels to save your father from being illegally smuggled into the circus and give that evil Jumpman what's coming to him. At least until you play the first Donkey Kong again. Number 17. Palamedes. A fun puzzle game that often gets overlooked, Palamedes can be described as a combination of Tetris and Yahtzee. A player must shoot dice towards the layers of dice at the top of the screen, creating combinations like straights, 3 of a kind, pairs, etc. The better the combination, the more damage you inflict on your opponent. The first player to get overwhelmed with too many rows of dice loses. The goal of this game is to win a tournament against the computer. Number 18. Ninja Gaiden. Considered one of the hardest games on the NES, Ninja Gaiden is a non-stop action platformer with enemies attacking from all directions. Everyone's favorite martial arts expert, Ryu, seeks revenge after his father is attacked and killed in a duel. As Ryu gets closer to solving the mystery of his father's attack, he learns more about the conspiratorial plot behind the encounter. good luck beating this game, as the levels start out hard and only get harder. Number 19. Baseball Stars. Baseball Stars is my favorite baseball video game of all time. What's not to love? You can create your own team, hire and fire players, even choose male or female teammates. I especially like how winning games earns your team money, which you can use to buy your players better skills. It's really cool watching your inexperienced, crummy team turn into a juggernaut as you win more games with them. The players visibly get faster, stronger, and more powerful, and dominating league legends such as Cy Young, Hank Aaron, and Babe Ruth really gives satisfaction. For this game's goal, become champions in the shortest league play option possible. Defeat your two opponents, hoist the trophy above your head, and let the celebration begin. Number 20. A Boy and His Blob. There's nothing like solving puzzles with a morphing alien life form by feeding it jelly beans. Yes, that's the idea of the game. This everyday kid with a backpack full of beans and his blob must work together to save the planet of Blobolonia. Whatever, who cares? Let's just glitch this game out and beat it as fast as possible. Next. Number 21. The Little Mermaid. Based on the animated blockbuster that jump-started the Disney Renaissance, The Little Mermaid is your typical Disney Capcom game that stays somewhat true to the movie's plot. The player controls Ariel, swimming through the ocean and collecting dinglehoppers and snarfblats along the way. Defeat the evil sea witch, Ursula, and marry the prince what's-his-face that no one cares about to reach your goal. Number 22. Rescue, the Embassy Mission. Originally released with the title Hostages on several home computer systems, Rescue involves an elite police unit with the mission of freeing several hostages being held at a French embassy. The officers use advanced counterterrorism techniques, such as rolling on the street and falling off the sides of buildings. I don't know if these poor hostages stand a chance. Defeat the terrorist group holding the hostages as a lieutenant on the mission Target to receive honor and advance to the next game. Number 23. Golf. Another black box classic. When he's not rescuing damsels in distress, Mario passes the time with his favorite hobby, golf. Kinda highbrow for a plumber, don't you think? Well, he is a classy guy. This game is simple enough, but it would be nice to know how far each club can hit, as well as how far you are from the pin on the second shot. And third. And fourth. And fifth. Trial and error play a huge factor, like in many NES games. Sink the ball into 18 holes to complete the challenge and move on. Number 24. Anticipation. Also known as Nintendo's first video board game, Anticipation is a hit with family and friends. It's sort of a cross between Pictionary and Trivial Pursuit. Players must watch the computer draw a picture, and when they think they know what it is, must buzz in to give an answer. Answer correctly in all 4 categories to advance to the next level. The goal for this particular challenge is to beat the game on very hard. And watch out for the ghosts! I really hope that's a ghost. Number 25. DuckTales. DuckTales was one of the best cartoons of all time. The Disney show aired 100 episodes in the late 80s, and even had a theatrical release in 1990. Disney and Capcom teamed up once again to produce an instant classic on the NES. Scrooge loves his treasure, and he goes to great lengths to find it. Collect the 5 priceless treasures all over the world, solar system, and defeat the evil Dracula Duck in Transylvania to beat the game. Number 26. Little Samson. Little Samson is one of the rarest, most expensive games on the Nintendo. A late release from 1992, the game involves 4 unique playable characters assigned with the duty of protecting the kingdom from the green hooded figure who has escaped from his imprisonment. Each character has their own special abilities. Samson can jump the highest, the dragon can fly, the golem is the strongest, and the mouse is the fastest. Deciding when to use each character, depending on the environment and health, is a huge strategic part of the game. Explore each option extensively to optimize efficiency. The goal of the game is to beat the easy mode. Number 27. Metroid. Inspired by the movie Alien, Metroid is an action, maze-like platformer taking place on a foreign planet starring everyone's favorite bounty hunter, Samus Aran. Samus's mission is to prevent the spreading of the deadly Metroid by destroying Mother Brain, the leader of the space pirates. The smooth controls and huge map make the replay value of this game very high. And it's so nice of the enemy to leave all those power-ups lying around so conveniently. This game is eerie and lonesome. It's best to over-prepare, because Samus is the galaxy's only hope. Number 28. Yume Penguin Monogatari. Okay, that last game was too scary. Let's play something cutesy and stupid, like Dream Penguin Adventure. At least that's the rough translation. Not released in the US, Yume is a game with a peculiar plot. Penta is a penguin whose shallow girlfriend, Penko, says he's too fat, and he can only win her back by losing weight. And that's not the weirdest thing about this game. Enemies do not kill you, but instead you must avoid eating the food they throw, and collect the protein shakes to get more fit. If you beat a stage, but are still too fat, you must replay it. There's also a race against the clock to consider, as the game is stingy with time. This is not a game where exploring is encouraged. Lose enough weight and prove that you are better than Penko's side hunk to win her back, and other benefits. Number 29. Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. Another Capcom Disney game, Chip 'n Dale is one of the most popular on the NES. The platformer has fluid controls, dynamic gameplay, and is one of the best co-op games on the NES. When Fat Cat kidnaps Gadget Hackwrench, Chip 'n Dale must work together to release her from his clutches. Save Gadget and defeat the Fat Cat gangster to become a true Rescue Ranger. Number 30. California Games. Okay, what exactly is going on here? We've sorta got skateboarding, sorta got skating, sorta got frisbee, or maybe, bro, you wanna play hack-a-sack or something? But seriously, BMX and surfing are the best. Tubular. Win the first place trophy for all events, then move on with your life already. Number 31. North and South. North and South is a strategy game mixed with a bit of action and platforming based on the Civil War. Select which side you want to represent, the difficulty, and other various options to begin the game. Once the war begins, you'll come to a screen of a roughly sketched United States map with Union and Confederate soldiers, each representing a small army group. When groups meet, a battle scene takes place, where cavalry, foot soldiers, and artillery fight to the death. This scene is also home to the most awesome pause animation in the history of gaming. Once one side's troops are all deceased, the war is over, and the opposing side wins. There are other cutscenes as well, but we won't be seeing much of those scenes in this run. Just defeat the computer and win the war as quickly as possible. Number 32. Shadow of the Ninja. An underrated alternative to Ninja Gaiden, Shadow of the Ninja is a fast-paced side-scrolling adventure in a futuristic society based on New York. The evil Emperor Garuda terrorizes the American citizens, and it's up to 2 ninjas, Lord Hayate and Lord Kaide, to take back the country. Navigate your way through the Emperor's minions, defeat the tyrant, and return the country back to sweet, sweet Freedom Land, USA. Number 33. Tiny Toon Adventures. They're tiny, they're toony, this game will drive you loony. The hitboxes are phooey, the bosses make you rage. Be Buster or Plucky, but Dizzy Devil sucky. The furball's cheap and clutchy, and Duck Vader may engage. Montana Max has kidnapped Babs, you know she's Buster's mate. Invade his mansion, beat him up, and then check his prostate. They're tiny, they're toony, this game will drive you loony. So find the time to work the grind and beat this game. Elmira's still a pain. Number 34. Blades of Steel. This is the best hockey game on the NES, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. In fact, screw those fat guys. This game is pretty straightforward. Choose your team, start a fight, and then a hockey game will break out. The objective here is simple. Win a tournament on pro level and hoist the trophy with all the glory of Lord Stanley of Preston. Number 35. Super Mario Bros. 3. Often considered the best Mario game in Nintendo history, Super Mario Bros. 3 has everything you could want in a side-scrolling platformer. A variety of power-ups, non-repetitive levels, warps and secrets, and a worthy villain. The story goes, Bowser's 7 children have taken over the palaces of the Mushroom Kingdom and have placed a curse on each member of the royal family. Mario must recover the monarch's magic wands to restore their status to normal, then rescue the princess who just can't seem to stay away from Bowser's castles. Defeat Bowser and his children, and rescue the princess to end the game. Number 36. Kickle Cubicle. One of the few ice games that is actually enjoyable, Kickle Cubicle is a unique puzzler. The evil Wizard King and his bucket crown have overtaken the slightly eccentric King Twa and his 4 princess daughters. It's Kickle's responsibility to collect the citizen prisoners kept in bags, yes, those are bags, not hearts, and take back the palaces for King Twa. Finally, defeat the evil Wizard King to restore peace to the kingdom. Number 37. The Chess Master. Chess. Now there's a game of kings. Civilized, strategic, and a total mystery. I hate it. The Chess Master is the best-selling chess franchise in the board game's history, with releases on computers and consoles from 1986 all the way to 2007. Made for the NES and Game Boy in 1990, the Chess Master provided players with multiple levels of difficulty and options to improve their skills and defeat the Chess Master. But for the sake of this run, we're going to be super lazy and just try to beat the easiest level. Number 38. Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti. And you thought violence couldn't get any cuter than Hammerin HARRY? Well, you were sure wrong. This is the second game in the Splatterhouse series, and was released exclusively to the Famicom in Japan. Despite its watered-down graphics compared to the arcade release, Wanpaku Graffiti has a charm that goes beyond looks alone. Each boss represents a parody of pop culture references or horror movie scenes. These include Michael Jackson, Jeff Goldblum, Sigourney Weaver, and finally,
Jack, the Pumpkin King.
Defeat the movie stars and the Pumpkin King to rescue your girlfriend and end the adorable madness. Number 39. Arch Rivals. The original NBA Jam. Arch Rivals is a hilarious arcade-style basketball game with infamous college teams such as Ball State and Natural High. Remember those universities? Gameplay consists of teams beating the crap out of each other, tripping over the referee, and coaches screaming at the other team from the sidelines. Tensions run high at such rivalry games, but keep your pants on and remain focused on victory. Defeat the computer in a single contest to advance to the next game. Number 40. Kung Fu. Do you know it? I know it.
Whoa.
Kung Fu is an action black box game for the NES, where the protagonist, Thomas, must rescue his sweetheart, Sylvia, from the evil Mr. X. Common enemies include thugs, knife throwers, ninja kids, dragons, and bugs. Who doesn't hate bugs? Work your way up the crime lord food chain and defeat Mr. X and save Sylvia to beat the game. Number 41. Wacky Races. Wacky Races was a cartoon series in the 60s by Hanna-Barbera. Every episode consisted of an automobile race in different areas of the country, usually extremely long distances. The races included 11 different cars, all driven by racers with very dynamic personalities. The main character, Dick Dastardly, played the villainous cheater, whose schemes, usually carried out by his lackey Muttley, always backfired. It was a fun cartoon, and had great potential as a video game. So what is the game like? Absolutely no racing whatsoever. Instead, it's a left-to-right side-scroller where you play as Muttley, traveling around the world and collecting bones for power-ups. At the end of each level, there is a boss, played by one of the other racing characters, who Muttley needs to sabotage in order for Dastardly to have a chance at winning the big race. These bosses include Peter Perfect, Rufus Roughcut, Penelope Pitstop, and the Anthill Mob, to name a few. It's a nice idea and a decent tribute to the show's characters, but the game is lacking a bit of pizzazz without any playable racing scenes. Beat the game to give Dastardly every opportunity to win the race, only to fail once again at the last minute. Number 42. California Raisins, The Grape Escape. This game was never actually released, but it was discovered and emulated somehow through the grapevine. With the dumbest plot in video game history, the Groovy Raisins Soul brothers must collect the stolen music notes from various villainous fruits and feet. Whatever, it's stupid, but the gameplay isn't really. It's okay. Win back the music notes and defeat the final boss to beat the game. Number 43. Rygar. Rygar is an open-world action RPG type game where the player must defeat bosses and gain access to essential items to explore new areas of the map. Armed with a weapon called the Disc Armor, which looks like a novelty yo-yo, our legendary warrior must travel from land to land, meeting a variety of monsters along the way, and build up power to defeat the evil creatures currently dominating the world of Argul. Beat the game and restore peace to the land. Number 44. Urban Champion. Here it is, Nintendo's first fighting game. This is the game that forced soccer moms to lash out at video game violence. Well, not really. It didn't garner that much attention. Probably because the game was just so boring. Urban Champion was one of the original black box NES games. Similar to the Blades of Steel fighting scene, you could punch your opponent in either the face or the stomach. The objective is to push your opponent backwards into an open manhole to claim victory. And that's it. Yeah. GG? Number 45. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Here we go. Now this is a fighting game done right. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out is one of the most popular games on the NES, and for good reason. With memorable characters, precise controls, sensational secrets, and an exponentially increasing challenge with each passing opponent, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out provides gamers with the ultimate satisfaction. And frustration. Each opponent has his own strengths and weaknesses that Little Mac must learn to exploit, combine what you learn through trial and error with the precise timing to master this game. Defeat Mike Tyson to become the ultimate world champion. Number 46. Defender of the Crown. Defender of the Crown is a strategy game taking place in the medieval times. Based loosely on Robin Hood, and it even includes the character, Defender of the Crown provides a variety of challenges for the player. The story goes, the king has been assassinated, causing mass hysteria across the kingdom. The land has been divided into two groups, the Normans versus the Saxons, each accusing the other side of killing the king. The player takes the side of the Saxons and hopes to push back the enemy into submission by taking over all the territories on the map. There are several side quests the player can consider as well, but none of them are essential to beating the game. Defeat the Norman army and bring order back to England. Number 47. The Great Waldo Search. Where's Waldo is a series of children's books with large mural-like illustrations of amusing scenes taking place all over the world. The Great Waldo Search was the third book in the series, and the game's scenes are similar to the books. Much better than Nintendo's first attempt at making a Where's Waldo video game. Ugh! There's like 2 colors, and nobody has a face! How are you supposed to identify Waldo? Anyway, each book has slightly different objectives as to what the reader is supposed to find, and this game's goals are similar to the book of the same name. If only we could do something about that piercing music. Ouch! Once Waldo finds himself and the scrolls, he can return them to the wizard, and the game is complete. Number 48. Super Dodgeball. Thinking about dodgeball in middle school gym class can bring back great or terrible memories depending on how early you hit puberty, but the Nintendo version was one way for everyone to enjoy the sport. The game starts out with you selecting the players to represent the United States in the Dodgeball World Cup. One elaborate part of this game is each individual player has his own stats, so formulating a strategy of player location was something to consider, at least in versus mode. During the match, your team must pelt the opponent in the face as many times as possible until they are all dead. No joke, they actually die. Continue the killing spree, round after round, to face the defending champions and heavy favorites, Team USSR. Heh, USSR. That's funny today. So defeat the champs and a mystery team to become dodgeball champions of the world. Number 49. Roller Games. Roller Games is what you get when you combine a roller derby with the WWF. It was actually a TV show for one season in 1989, but unfortunately it got cancelled. The game is an exciting beat-em-up with multiple characters from which to choose. Each character has a different strength and weakness, so explore each option to discover your preferences. So what's the plot? A weird alien genie in Depends has kidnapped the League Commissioner with the support of the Eastern Empire teams, and it's up to the good guys of the Western Alliance to rescue him. Huh. Hey, at least Shelley Jameson is in it. More of her, please. And now, the final game of the marathon. Your favorite and mine, number 50. Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. Zelda 2 is an extremely underappreciated adventure RPG game with platforming scenarios as well. The Princess Zelda has been struck with the sleeping curse, and only the Triforce can awaken her, but the Triforce is sealed in a great palace. To gain access to the Triforce, Link must defeat the guards of 6 smaller palaces and place crystals in statues to break the final seal. Only then can the princess be awoken. This is by far the longest game in the marathon, but there is not a single boring moment. The battle scenes are epic, especially in the palaces. Nothing is more satisfying than defeating a blue iron knuckle without getting hit. Believe me, it took me over a decade to learn. Considering that I've been playing this game for nearly 30 years, I figured the best way to end the marathon would be to conquer this game one more time. So that's the Koach 50 list. I hope you're not too disappointed if I didn't choose one of your favorite games. If I didn't, it's most likely one of 3 reasons. 1. The game is too long. In a marathon of 50 games, I really had to consider the total time this would take to avoid falling asleep while live. 2. It doesn't have a clear enough ending to ever be considered beaten. Some of the games I chose have arcade-style loops, but each one has a satisfying completed feel, unlike several other games on the NES. Or 3. I am just flat out no good at the game. It would take me days to learn it and be extremely frustrating, which I'm trying to avoid. This problem applied to many of the games I tested. Alright, so now I have a few weeks to prepare for this marathon. Come watch me practice live on Twitch over the next few weeks. Wish me luck, everybody, and I hope to see you on April 24th starting at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.